There's been much criticism of air travel by environmentalists who say that it is not environmentally sustainable because of the level of emissions of carbon into the atmosphere at high level. However, if you look at the patterns of life that we live with now in terms of how we operate businesses, how we travel, it's obviously crazy to suggest that air travel is not going to survive into the future and that there is any way we can live without air travel. Certainly we can cut down the amount of travel we do, say for business, by using internet communications, video conferencing, etc. But people will still travel for business in a global economy. In terms of society, many people now have become used to traveling overseas on holiday. We have families that are dispersed across the planet. We want to visit them. So people are not going to give up on air travel. And if we look at distances that have to be travelled, say here in Australia, people can't travel between cities in any other way because of the distances, and the environmental cost of travelling by cars is equally unsustainable. So we have these problems of the fact that we live in a society, we live in an economy which are dependent on air travel. So we can't just look at it from the environmental perspective. However, airlines and aircraft manufacturers are looking very seriously at this issue. Here in Australia, Jetstar's main arm is about to take delivery of a batch of the new Boeing Dreamliners. These aircraft are designed to be much lighter and much more fuel efficient than their predecessors. They will cut the cost of travel, but they will also cut the emissions that come from air travel. There have been experiments carried out in Europe in the last decade to look at using alternative fuels which have much lower carbon emissions. So the future of air travel, I would say, we depend on air travel in our society, and there is no way that we can consider that we would live without it. So in order to be a sustainable business in the future, then the airline industry and Jetstar Asia have to look at how they will cut their carbon emissions, how they will become more sustainable economically in challenging economies, and how they will address the needs of society and the way we want to live and bring these things all together. And the way they will do this is with new technologies, more efficient operations, less fuel consumption, less material consumption.